Hi there, my name is Walter Brandes, and I am a student here at ATSU University, currently pursuing a master's degree in kinesiology with a dual track in sports conditioning and orthopedic rehab. The purpose of this video is to go over a potential client question I would get asked about in nutrition. What's interesting about this question is it's a very common question I actually get asked a lot about where I currently work at, which is in strength and conditioning at the University of Southern California. This question is, should I consume a sports drink or water? And for my professional opinion, I believe a sports drink is more superior over water, but depends on the type of performance or exercise the athlete is doing, as well as their duration. But before all that, I further go into that, I just want to talk about water. Water is important regardless of anything. So it's important to always drink water on a daily basis. Water, it makes up the majority of our body weight, and it's critical for our body to properly function. In addition to losing water on a daily basis through urine, sweat, feces, our body continuously loses water through our skin and the air we exhale. So again, it's important to drink water, and the DRI, the daily reference intake, recommends that adult women should drink about 91 ounces of water per day, and for adult men, about 125 ounces of water. Now, going over to sports drink, I want to talk a little bit about what's in sports drink and why is it beneficial for the athlete. So again, in sports drink, the main ingredient is water. So they are getting water, but however, there are other substances in a sports drink like carbohydrates and electrolytes, which are supposed to improve performance. So carbs in these drinks are often forms of sugars like glucose, sucrose, and fructose, while the main electrolytes in these drinks are sodium and potassium. Researchers like Combs and Hamilton describe that a typical sports drink is about 6 to 8% carbohydrates, or a 6% solution, which should contain about 14 grams of carbs per 8 ounces of fluid. Popular brands that we see today at universities, supermarkets, or sporting events are Gatorade, Powerade, or All Sports. Also, it's important to that I refer that in Combs and Hamilton's study, in their 2000 study, they investigated the effectiveness of Gatorade, Powerade, and All Sport, and they found that there's really no difference in the effectiveness of these drinks. So it doesn't matter which one you drink; they all do the same thing. Now, going to why I believe sport drinks are beneficial for athletes over water, it's because let's look at those three components: water, carbohydrates, electrolytes. They're each important for the different aspects of exercise performance. Famous sports nutrition scientist Asker Gentrup states that water and electrolytes are lost in sweat, and it's important to replace these components, particularly during long duration exercises. Referring back to Gentrup, he further states that consuming carbs before or during exercise can help slow down how quickly your body runs out of its own carbohydrate storage. But it's important to know when to drink a sports drink, because in certain short duration exercises, studies show that it's not really that at all beneficial. It's still kind of inconclusive, for sports drinks for short duration exercises. But in a 1997 study by Gentrup and colleagues, they showed that sports drinks improved performance by 2% in a 1 hour intense cycling compared to a placebo. But despite this positive finding, there still isn't strong enough evidence to support that sport drinks are beneficial in short duration exercises, because in a 2011 study by Slater and Phillip, they reported that there was no clear benefits in consuming sports drinks for short duration exercises within Olympic lifting or bodybuilding. However, sports drinks are beneficial for team sports, intermittent exercises, or prolonged continuous sports like basketball, soccer, marathon, running. It's important for those sports because they are going on for a long duration period. So what happens in those long duration of exercises, that we lose a lot of our energy source, our carbohydrates, and we sweat a lot. We lose a lot of potassium and sodium. So in a 2015 study by Gentrup et al., he states that sports drinks can reduce fatigue and improve performance like soccer, rugby, or lacrosse by replenishing these lost energy sources or carbs and help prevent cramping and dehydration. But looking further into these sports drinks, how much carbs should we take for these long duration periods of exercise? Generally, the number of carbs may be beneficial as the exercise or the duration increases. Going back to Gentrup's 2011 study, showed that small amount of carbs, fewer than 30 grams per hour, may improve exercise performance in events lasting 30 to 75 minutes. His study further recommends that consuming up to 30 grams per hour of carbs, or about 16 ounces of sports drink with a 6% solution of carbs, is okay within a 1 to 2 hour session, but within a 2 to 3 hour session, that intake up to 60 grams of carbs per hour may be more beneficial. However, these recommendations are for continuous efforts of high intensity without rest. Same guidelines don't really apply for other intermittent activities like single effort broad jumps or Olympic lifting or traditional body weight training. But you know what? It's still important for me to state that sports drinks are not at all for other people. There are several factors to consider when deciding whether sport drinks may be beneficial for an athlete or client. First, you have to consider the exercise habits as well as the duration and the intensity of their training. While sport drinks can benefit athletes who engage long, intense training sessions, they're probably not necessary for most gym goers or that recreational weekend warrior athlete. If you perform light to moderate exercises such as like walking, jogging, treadmill walking for less than an hour, you probably don't need a sports drink. You're just better off drinking water. There's still nothing wrong with just drinking water. Similarly, if you perform like simple weight training, you're fine with just water. You don't need to chug a big gallon of Gatorade while you're doing a couple of bicep curls. So yeah, that's pretty much my take on sports drinks versus water. Why sports drinks are beneficial for that long duration exercises or for that intermediate athletes.